This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be back again at Michael's, bringing you the Turquoise and Salt Waistbead kits that recently launched in all Michael's locations and online. I know that there are some locations that are sold out or still waiting for the kits. Please be patient. As you know, I feel like it's a little cliche now, but COVID has really affected shipping. So if you could still be patient and know that Michael's is doing everything that they can to get these kits to you. And if they're sold out, we're going to try to get some more to you. So thank you for being here with us today. Now, if you do not have this specific kit handy, it is very good to still stay tuned because there are a lot of tips and things that you can still learn for when you do get the kit. Also, just a little note to put it down in the front. Sorry, we have a package delivery. Also, if you don't, that's what I was saying is if you don't have this kit, this Zoom is going to be recorded. So, and the things that are being taught are applicable to other Waistbead kits. So don't feel bad if you don't have this kit specifically or this kit handy at the moment. For those of you that do, thank you for joining in. And we're going to unbox this. So this has not been opened. This has not been opened. So we're going to switch to the other view. And let's open it. I'm excited. Scissors. All right, so today we are unboxing Refuge and Safety. And on the back it reads, the exact specifics of what makes a refuge is entirely personal and unique, defined so long as the space promotes healing, rest, and the ability to recharge for tomorrow. So if you open it up, you will see that you have all of your supplies here. Inside, there should be an insert with, who's this gorgeous lady? Oh, that's me. So there should be an insert inside. It gives you a brief description of who I am and what Turquoise and Salt is and what are Waistbeads and why everyone should make them. And on the other side, you will see what the completed design looks like and some text instructions also. So that's what we have here. Now, we have our measuring tape and needle and thread, beads, let's go through the different beads that we have here. All right, so we have some 8-0. These are some 8-0, I want to say like kind of a light pink or beige. We have some coral 6-0 beads. And when I say 8-0, I'm referring to the size of the beads. We have some coral 6-0 beads. We have some 8-0. These would be called a silver lined transparent, because you can see through the bead, teal. And they're lined with a silver lining. And these are a silver lined transparent. These would be considered a light topaz or citrine. and they have kind of a rainbow coating on them. So they would be AB, and these are 11-0. 11-0 silver line citrine AB. Okay. We have 2 charms here. We have our thread, needle, and measuring tape. So first thing you want to do is take out your measuring tape and expand that out. Next, grab your thread, and I'm going to show you how to measure yourself or measure anyone that you are making this waist bead for.
Someone's asking if the thread is elastic.
The thread is not elastic. It is not elastic. Good question. All right, so this is like one of the #1 questions I receive. So I'm gonna stand up and demonstrate how to measure yourself, all right? So stand up, and you wanna, if you're wearing pants, you wanna undo your pants slightly. We're gonna tuck this up here. You wanna make sure you're not holding your stomach in to get proper measurement. And you're gonna just look at yourself and decide, where do I want my waist bead to sit? Do I want it to sit above my belly button? Do I want it to sit directly on my hips and my waist? Where do I want it? It's a personal choice. There's no right or wrong place to put your waist beads. It's completely up to you and your comfort and specific to your body. So once you decide, okay, I want them right above my navel, what you're going to do is you're going to take your measuring tape, you're going to place the one where your belly button is, and you're going to, like a belt to like a robe or a dress, you're going to pull that around, okay? And then wherever the one meets on the other side of this measuring tape, that is your measurement. So the one is meeting with 39 inches, okay? So that means my waist bead, the parts that have the beads on them needs to be 39 inches. That's how you measure yourself. I'll show you again really quickly. You're gonna take your measuring tape facing out. You're gonna put it where, so if I wanted it down here, if I wanted my waist bead down here, I would measure this area. If I wanted my waist bead higher, I would measure around this area. So you want to put the one wherever you plan on tying the waist bead. All right. So we're going to wrap it around. Make sure you're not holding your stomach in. And it's 39 inches for me. Okay. So cover myself back up. All right, so after you have your measurements for yourself or whoever you're making the waist bead for, we're going to lay our measuring tape back out. And so with measuring, you have to add a bit of leeway onto the strand. Because the strands are tie-on, you want to make sure that you have some inches that are reserved just for tying the waist bead on. Me personally, I like to have 6 inches on both ends of the waist beads. With that being said, we're going to add we're going to add 12 inches to 39 inches, and we're going to double that. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that.
One of the girls said that every Michael she went to didn't have the kit, even though they showed it in stock. So she purchased materials from Amazon and is using plastic.
Okay, that's fine. I cannot speak to using elastic. I've never used elastic in my life. So hopefully you can take what you see and come up with your own personal technique.
And then someone's asking, what is the best thread?
Let's hold on. Let's hold off for questions. So you might want to write them down, or all right. Let me divert the camera here. All right, so we're going to take the end of the thread and we're going to put it at 1. We're going to measure from 1 all the way to 39 because I'm 39 inches around. All right, so this is from 1 to 39. And then wherever that 39 is, we're going to place that 39 mark at the 1 again. And we're going to measure 12 inches. And that 12 inches is going to be divided in 2 later on. Okay, so if your measurements were 45 inches, you're going to do 45 and then 12. All right, so I'll do that again. So this is the start. I'm going to put that at the 1. I'm going to measure all the way from 1 to 39. This is where 39 is. We're going to take where 39 is, and we're going to put that at 1, and we're going to measure 12 inches. All right. And then we are going to double that, double the entire thing. So it's 39 plus 12 times 2. So I see a question here about a recommendation for an event. I do recommend 50 to 60 inches, as Yoni said, 50 to 60 inches. It's all about knowing your market, knowing your market. The last thing I want to do is take waist beads to an event and there are a lot of women who feel excluded because I don't have any big enough for them. So I try to make sure I have a good range of, I'm either going to take all 50 inches or all 60 inches or a mixture of both 50 and 60 inches. In my 5 years of experience, I have found that 50 to 55 inches is a good safe space. And then if you ever come across someone who is wanting to buy a waist bead and you don't have one that's long enough for them, what you do is you take their information, you take their payment, you get their shipping information, and they place their order right there with you in person, and you tell them you can have it made for them in their size, and you can ship it to them. All right, so we have here 12 plus 39 times 2. All right, that's what we have here. Next, we are going to put on our needle. So get the 2 ends. Let me move this camera back over. All right, so we have our 2 ends here. I love this thread. We have our 2 ends here. We're going to get our big eye curved needle. That's what this needle is called, a big eye curved needle. We are going to open it up. The middle of the needle opens up, And we're going to place one end through the needle. Slide that needle to the middle. You might ask Mimi, how do I know if it's at the middle? This is what you can do. Once you have your needle on, get your ends to your threads. Get your ends, match them up, line them up. Pinch and slide the thread through. Okay. Now we want to get an anchor bead. So you can choose any of your beads that you have here to serve as an anchor bead. And an anchor bead is helpful to prevent your design from sliding off while you are in the middle of making it. So I tend to use the larger size, which is a 6/0. We're going to slide that 6/0 bead onto the needle. Six oh does not mean 6mm size. So the reason why it's called 6/0 traditionally is because they named the beads based off how many beads it took to make an inch. And so the 6/0, now that was the traditional way of naming, but today the 6/0s are larger, and then the middle sizes are 8/0, and the small size is 11/0. Now there are sizes smaller than 11/0s, and there are sizes larger than 6/0s, but these are the three most common sizes used in waist bead making. 6/0 being the largest again, 11/0 being the smallest. Now that's not to limit you saying that you can't use beads that are larger or smaller, but those are the most common beads that are used currently. So once we have on the bead, we are going to, let me back this up. We slid on the bead all the way to the end. And now we're going to tie a basic knot around the bead. Just a regular knot, nothing fancy. You want to make sure the bead is in the knot. Make sure the bead is in the knot. And we want to do that, secure it the same way 3 or 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. That's what we have there. All right. Next, we are going to tie a slip knot. A slip knot is going to help you reserve enough thread for it to be tied on. That's what we have those extra 12 inches for. So since we're working with the beginning of the waist bead, we're going to reserve 6 inches of length of thread where no beads will be on. So let's go 6 inches here. And then we're going to do a slip knot. In order to perform a slip knot, you're going to pinch the anchor bead. You're going to wrap the thread behind you. and up like that. You're going to pinch it and slide out your fingers. Doing the same motion, you want to wrap behind and come through. That is how you do a slip knot. All right, I'll do it again. You're going to pinch the anchor bead, slip it behind your fingers, pinch, slide your fingers out. Doing the same motion, we're going to come behind and bring a little bit of thread through the loop, and then we're going to tighten it around, just like that. And there we have the setup for our waist bead strand. All right, how's everyone doing so far? Someone's lost. Celeste, Bailey, what are we, where are we at? What can I help you? So just a quick recap, you're measuring one length of thread and you're doubling that thread. So it's still connected, but you're doubling it. So it's 12 inches plus your measurements. And then you're gonna, whatever that measurement is in those 12 inches, you're gonna double that. So if your waist is 40 inches, you're gonna add 12 inches, which is 52 inches. And then, so you're gonna measure a strand, a thread, that's 104 inches, because you wanna double that. 52 times 2, 104. All right?
And they're asking if you can open the needle again. That's
I
right.
can open the needle. So here's the needle opened up in the middle here. We good with that? All right, so moving on. I have a bead spinner here. Now, all waist beads can be made without a bead spinner. I do, however, recommend using a bead spinner if you have one handy. If you don't have one handy, that's fine. You can add the beads on by hand. I prefer a wooden manual bead spinner. In the beginning, I used to use a battery operated, and at one point I used a plug-in bead spinner. Since then, a friend of mine introduced me to these wooden bead spinners that I absolutely love and adore. I like the fact that they are made out of wood, which makes me feel more connected to the beads. And I like being able to control the bead spinner myself to whatever speed I'd like. And I don't have to worry about buying batteries or needing electricity also, which means I can bead anytime, anywhere. All right, so referring to our instructions, we are going to add in the green beads to the bead spinner. These are the base beads. We don't need this anymore. I will be answering questions more towards the end. I don't want to take up a lot of time answering questions at the moment, but here and there, I will try to answer more questions. All right. Next, let's set up our accent beads. I love using this bead mat. All right, so hold your needle. Put your needle in the bead spinner. You want to try to hold the needle not super straight across, not straight down. You want to do it like straight across, but kind of tilt it down at a slight angle. All right. And then pretend the bead spinner this is noon, this is 11, this is 10, and this is 9. You want to hold it between 10 and 11 o'clock on the bead spinner. And then we're going to spin. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to spin in the counterclockwise position with my left hand. Oh, let me back up a little bit. The needle might, the curve of the needle might be a little too curved. So one thing you can do is try to straighten it out is just apply pressure with your 2 fingers and rub along the spine of the needle. You don't want to physically, manually bend the needle. The pressure of straightening it out should be enough. It's like a hard C. We want it more like a soft J. All right. So now we're gonna spin. Now, when you read the instructions, it will have an actual count of how many of each bead you should use. Just a little tip, I don't count the beads. I do not sit here and count how many beads I have on here. One thing that I do is I use the length of the needle to get an estimate, approximation on how many beads I want this particular part of the pattern to be. I call this part of the pattern the base pattern. You can see it's the base pattern because it is the pattern that occupies most of the waist bead consecutively. You see that? It's like a background pattern. This, I use the needle, the length of the needle, not the curved part, but the straight part. I use the length, the straight part of the needle to measure the bead, the design. All right, so I'm going to slide that on. Everyone see that? Now, we're going to get into actual pattern. Okay, now, when you are doing a waist bead with a pattern, you decide how you want your pattern to be, but it's put on by hand. So for this particular strand, you can see the pattern is as follows. It's 3 of the 11-0 silver line citrine beads, citrine color beads. And in between those, we are going to have 5 coral colored beads. And in between the coral beads, we're going to have one of the citrine silver line beads, followed by this 3 pattern here of the citrine beads. And then we are going to have this base, another base color of the white, the pinkish white beads, the off-white beads. Okay. So going based off the pattern, one, 2, 3, 1, put that over here. One of these. a bead. And I'll show you a close-up of this pattern once it's completed. This I'm doing by hand because it's an actual pattern. So I do count the beads when it comes to the design pattern. And that's because a bead spinner isn't going to do this for you. All right, so there we have the first part of this pattern here. See that? I did 3 of the silver line citrine colored beads with 5 coral colored beads and 1 citrine line bead in between. All right. So one thing I also recommend is having multiple bead spinners. Now, do not panic if you don't have 1 bead spinner, let alone 2 bead spinners. Do not panic. Again, all this can be made without a bead spinner. For the sake of time in this live, I'm going to bring in another bead spinner. And we are going to actually input the off-white beads into this bead spinner. All right. We are going to now do this part of the pattern, which I recommend covering the needle, just the curved part of the needle should give you the amount of beads that you need right here. So this is a needle length, and this is like a curved length of beads. And I'll show you what I mean by curved length. So I'm going to input my needle into the bead spinner. As soon as the beads have covered the curved portion of the needle, I'm going to slide that on. Oh, these beads got stuck on there. Have that. And then we're going to repeat this. All right. So after I'm done with this pattern, I'm going to go through and answer some questions. And I'm going to go through the thread and answer some questions that you guys have been asking while I complete this strand. So just follow along as I complete this pattern. Move this out the way for a second. Let's see. What are some questions?
A lot of questions about the thread. Is it nylon? What's the best thread to use? What's the name of the thread?
All right, so in regards to thread, I recommend that you go through and do some product research and development and find the best thread that works for you. That is what I have to say about thread. When I first started out on making waist beads, I had no resources for finding the right thread. I literally had to drive to different craft stores, different stores that sold different kinds of thread and string, and I had to go and test it out, essentially. I use cotton, I use nylon, I use not elastic, but like this clear Fireline thread. I used a lot of different threads. I tried a lot of, I tried polyester, upholstery thread. I tried so many different threads until I found the right one that works for me. And I made a mistake here. I put on, it was supposed to be 5 coral. I only put on 4. So I will say this, there are other classes, Michael classes, already posted on YouTube, already posted on the Michael's website for review. And I also, if you go on YouTube, you will see that I do have some videos under the Turquoise and Salt channel that will show you how to make a slip knot. It will show you how to tie an anchor bead. It will show you how to measure. So if you go on the Turquoise and Salt YouTube channel on YouTube, you will definitely find a lot of videos where I go over everything that I'm showing you today that were produced by me. And then there are also some previous classes from Michael's that you can find this information also. So I will show you, what are some more questions?
There's a question about someone being plus size. Should they buy 2 kits? Why won't my 11 bead slide down the needle into the thread?
So in regards to being plus size, I'm not sure what your measurements are to tell you whether or not you should buy 2 kits or not. I will say that to try one kit, to get one kit and see how that works for you. In regards to the 11 not sliding on, sometimes you might catch, because the beads are not perfect, sometimes your 11 bead might get caught on the end of your needle with your thread, because at this part right here, the bead has to pass over not just the metal of the needle, but also the thickness of the thread. So if that one's getting caught on there, maybe slide the beads off and try again with a different 11 bead.
Someone was asking about the significance of the colors and sizes sequences of your kits. The beads.
Yes, so the colors that I chose are in correlation with the chakra system. So if you look up chakra system, just for the sake of time, if you look up the chakra system or the chakra chart, you will see the significance and the meanings of the different colors that I chose. Now, some of the colors that are in the kits are not on the chakra chart, and they're just chosen for accent colors. But most importantly, the colors that I use, especially for my strands that I sell on Turquoise and Salt, they correlate with the chakra system.
Someone was asking about what's the purpose of Waistbeads.
Yes, so Waistbeads have many different purposes. They originated in Africa and they were worn and tied on for various reasons. Some cultures, tribes would tie on Waistbeads on the infant child when they were born to distinguish between the girls and the boys when the babies were born. As young girls grew up and became of age, they would have a coming of age ceremony and they would tie on Waistbeads of the young girl to signify her transition from young girlhood to womanhood. Also, they were worn for different protections. They were prayed over and blessed and worn to ward off different negative energies and spirits. So it all depends on what specific culture you're speaking of, because in Africa, there are different cultures that exist within the different countries in the continent of Africa. So there was never just one universal significance or purpose that applied to all. They were all different and they all varied. I personally, upon learning and doing research about waist beads, I wanted to use them as a tool that could help us and anchor us to our healing journey, and use them to empower women and uplift them, and recognizing that they are powerful, that they are beautiful as they are, flawed and all, and just helping change our self-image with adorning ourselves in the practice of our self-love journey. So you can see I'm doing this part by hand, the pattern part by hand.
I love that someone's asking, can you wear different waist beads at the same time?
You absolutely can. How many waist beads you wear, where you wear them, how you wear them is completely up to you. If you want to wear one, that's fine. If you want to wear 44, that's fine also.
Do all waist bead kits come with thread?
All waist bead kits come with thread, yes. So if you're having trouble threading this needle, you simply need to open it up in the middle. If you open it up in the middle, you can see that it opens up very big, way bigger than your standard sewing needle. So the needle is literally split in two. And if you take the spine of the needle and put your finger in the middle, it opens up really, really big. And that should be make it easier for you to thread the needle.
Are waist beads supposed to come off at any point in the paper?
Yes, waist beads do come off. Sometimes they do break off, they do fall off. Now, again, that's another one of those cultural belief questions. It is believed that if a strand breaks off of you or falls off of you, and whatever purpose or intention that was connected or energy that was connected to that strand, it has served its purpose. And therefore, it's time to move on to another strand. Some really strongly believe that when you're tying on that strand for whatever particular reason or purpose, wherever you are in your journey, that strand has served its purpose for you.
A more specific question, steps 5 and 6, are there 44 of the same colored Ados in the 11?
So yes, and again, the kit has specific instructions on how many beads to use, okay? It does say that there are, of the green beads, I believe it says 40 green seed beads. Take it from me. If you're not using a bead spinner, you can simply fill the needle length from one end to another, and that should give you the right amount of beads that you need. I will say, this kit has more than enough beads for you So if you are not using the exact count, you should still be fine if you are going along with the length that I'm recommending. And the recommended length for the green portion of the beads, I would say a needle length minus this curve length right here. So just if we're going from straight to straight, that should give you the right amount of beads. So let's see an update here. Any more questions?
Yes. How do you get the 11 beads onto the needle?
I already answered that one.
Okay. What's the name for the gold beads in this kit?
So these beads are called silver lined, transparent, citrine AB. So when I say citrine, I'm referring to the color. They're not actual citrine stones, but the color. You could even say a light gold or a light topaz. It depends on the vendor. Different vendors list them differently. But I know if I were to call my vendor, I would ask for silver lined, transparent, AB, citrine colored beads. That's what these are right here.
Someone was asking me, can they use the kit for a tying appointment?
If you make this waist, if you already have this waist bead made and you would like for me to tie it on when I do have appointments, yes, you can bring this strand to have it tied on to you. Yes.
And then someone was asking if you're going to show your tying method.
Yes, I can show you how to tie on this waist bead at the end of this class. What are we looking at on time? Yeah. All right. So feel free to ask any more questions. I'm going to finish up this waist bead. Yoni laugh. The nails do not come with the kit. I'm located in Los Angeles. I'm actually moving locations from this location to a bigger location. So I'm not currently open for appointments at the moment, but I'm moving to a 2,200 square foot building. It's going to be the new Turquoise and Salt Sanctuary, where you will be able to drop in and have all the supplies available for you to make your own waist bead. You will be able to just come in, book an appointment, and make your own waist bead using the beads that are there, that they will be available for you. There will be tying ceremonies. There will be coming of age ceremonies for young girls. There will be different workshops available also. We will be teaching you how to make candles. We will be teaching you how to paint. We'll be teaching you how to make different body products. We will have guest teachers also, because Mimi Lynette does not make everything. We will have different guest teachers that will be dropping in, and you will be able to book a seat in that class. We will be also offering yoga, meditation, sound bowl healing, massages, Reiki. It's going to be a full experience. Come to New Jersey. If anyone is interested in having me come, I am available for retreats. I am available for seminars. I am available for bridal showers, tying ceremonies. I am available to travel anywhere and everywhere. So if you are interested in having me come to your city or city and state, just hit me up. You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is turquoise @turquoise and salt. You can email me, Mimi at turquoiseandsalt.com. My website is turquoiseandsalt.com. I'm available, ladies. If you need me to come teach a class, I'm definitely interested in working with young girls and any type of school or organizations for young girls. I would love to partner with some community outreach programs that are available out there. I definitely feel like young girls, elementary, middle, high school, need to have tools that can help them with becoming beautiful young women and empower them and let them know that they are beautiful and that they are powerful. So I'm almost done here. If I'm not teaching, this waist bead would probably take me roughly 5 to 7 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to make, depending on the length, because obviously the longer the waist bead, the longer it takes. I want to thank all of you that are on this live today, this live Zoom today. I want to thank all of you that have been rocking with me from the beginning, 2017. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for those that speak of me in rooms that I am not in. Thank you for telling someone about me. Thank you for suggesting or recommending. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. I love the power of word of mouth. And I know there are a lot of different people out there saying how we don't support our people. I could never say that because I feel I've always from the beginning, as an amateur and as a novice, I've always felt supported. I've never felt unsupported ever in this venture, in this journey. So thank you so much for supporting me. You definitely keep me going, for sure.
Someone asked how long have you been making waist beads?
I've been making waist beads since October 2017. So what is that, almost 5 years? I can't count. 17, 18, 19, 22, 122. Yeah. It will be, I still use my fingers to count. Yes, it will be 5 years this October.
Someone asked how long you have the charm.
So the charms I put on at the end, simply because, it doesn't need to go on until the end. That way you can decide where you want to put it. But I add the charms at the end. Again, there are different classes that I have done for Michaels. So you can definitely go and look on their website for the kits. Also, not for the kids, but yes, for the kids, but for the instructions on how to make waist beads, the history of waist beads, I've posted on YouTube. If you Google, if you go on YouTube and look up Making It with Michaels or Make It with Michaels and then type in Turquoise and Salt, you should be able to locate the YouTube video, as well as being able to locate it on the actual Michaels website. Oh, you found the YouTube classes. Awesome. Thank you.
Someone's asking, on your website, you offer products such as t-shirts that come see with these waist beads. What is the power in that? Is it just the confidence gained through your journey or more strength?
So with these shirts, With the making and tying of waist beads, it's very intentional driven. So I'm very glad that you asked that question. It's everything is based off energy and intentions. So whether it's a waist bead or a t-shirt, the energy and intentions that you are tying on with a waist bead or wearing with a t-shirt, it definitely is saying something. You are definitely going to attract the energy and intentions behind tying on that waist bead and putting on that t-shirt. So it's basically saying like, come see what they do. Like, look at me. I have on waist beads. I'm wearing waist beads. Even if you can't see the waist beads, I definitely made that shirt because traditionally waist beads are not shown. You don't share them or show them for the public. Now that is how they are used traditionally. However, what's on your body is your choice. It's your choice how you want to share them, how you want to show them, if you want to show them or keep them hidden. So the beautiful thing about that shirt is saying, I'm wearing waist beads without showing them or showing them. And it's saying that they do something, they are powerful. And it invites the conversation of asking, what, come see what these waist beads do. Well, what are waist beads and what do they do? And it's a great conversation starter to educate someone who might not know about the waist beads. And then if you have a significant other, they can have the shirt. I have a shirt that says, oh, I know what those waist beads do. So yes, it's a cute way of being recognized for their power, the power of wearing waist beads. I do recommend, not everyone believes in an intention setting, but I do highly recommend setting an intention when you are tying and making your waist beads. What is your purpose? What do you hope to attract to you with the making and or tying of your waist bead? Some of us, a lot of us, all of us are on our own personal journey, right? We're on our own personal journey. And that could be a self-love journey, a healing journey, a journey of success, a journey of education. Whatever that journey is for you, what are your intentions in traveling along that journey? And the beautiful thing about tying on a waist bead, it's giving yourself the support that you need, that you might not remember to give yourself and that you might not be receiving from outside sources. So it's literally tying on a little gentle reminder saying, hey, remember why you tied this on. Remember what you were going through. Remember what you're hoping to accomplish. Remember the promises that you're making to yourself. Remember the commitments that you're making to yourself. Don't forget about me. It's saying to me, don't forget about me. Don't forget about myself. All right, so one thing I want to point out is I'm getting towards the end, okay? And it's so funny because it's such a relaxing craft that you'll get in the zone, especially if you're playing music and you have your candles, you'll get into the zone and you'll forget about this part. Remember those 12 inches? 6 inches went towards the beginning of this strand, right? So now the other 6 inches needs to be reserved for the end of this strand. And remember, those combined 12 inches is so you can have handles to tie your waist bead on. So as you get towards the end, just be mindful, you need to make sure you have 6 inches that you do not put waist beads on. Now I'm going to show you what to do when you get towards those 6 inches. So right now, what I usually do is to make sure where I am, I will put the end, I'll put it and I'll measure 6 inches. So I know from here to here is where I need to stop. So that gives me all of this to put waist beads on, to put beads on. All right, so just be mindful as you're going through, as you start to get towards the end, be mindful you want to stop 6 inches before the end. Normally I would have music playing, but we were having some feedback from the microphone, so it just wasn't conducive to have music on.
Someone wanted to know your opinion on putting like clasps or closures on the waist beads, like someone had to take it off for MRI.
So clasp, elastic, and clasp and elastic waist beads, I that is out of my scope of knowledge. I have never, ever sold a waist bead with a clasp. I've never made a waist bead with elastic on it. So unfortunately, that's out of my forte of knowledge. And I don't want to speak on something that I'm not familiar with. I do know that my personal choice in not exploring those avenues of removable waist beads is because I personally see tying on a waist bead as a commitment, right? It's like getting a tattoo. You are committed to that image that you're putting on your body. And because of the significance of waist beads for me personally in my journey, when I started wearing them, it was a commitment that I did not want to let go of. I understand that there are health conditions and health procedures that make it so that you have to remove waist beads. And for me, what I tell my clients is that you just remove it if that's what your doctor is saying needs to happen, and then buy another one, make another one, tie another one on. Tie one on celebrating your healing journey of whatever medical procedure that you've had to have that caused you to cut your waist beads off. It's time to start with some new ones, some new energy in celebration of your healing. I unfortunately cannot give any instruction or tutorial on actually making an elastic waist bead because I just don't know. Unfortunately, I just don't know.
You should remind us that it's an hour-long class, 11 to 6.
Alrighty, so we are wrapping up. I'm actually towards the end here. This is going to be the last pattern that I put on this waist bead, so I can show you how to tie on and end and tie on this waist bead. So I'm checking. Now, if you make a mistake on this waist bead design, remember it's your personal design. So don't, no one's going to come behind you and say, it doesn't look like that. You didn't make it exactly according to the kit. It's okay. It really is okay. Just breathe. So let's put this last green bit on here. Again, I'm not counting. I know some of us, want to be exact, and I'm not faulting you for that. It's okay if you want to count. If you don't want to count and you just want to use the length of the needle, that's fine also. Whatever works for you. So I went a little bit over, so I'm going to take off a little bit. We're going to end the strand the exact same way we started it, okay? So now that we're done, before we cut our needle off, we're going to put on another anchor bead. What do you mean by natural beads? What material are you speaking of in regards to natural? Natural stone, absolutely. Crystals, gemstones, absolutely. So after we put on our anchor, we're going to slide our anchor bead on, right? We are going to loosen the thread, the needle from the middle of the thread, pull that out the way. And then we are going to cut. Slide that needle off. Take your anchor bead. Remember how we started this waist bead. That's how we're going to end it. Take it to the end. Tie on. Tie 3 or 4 basic knots. All right, then we're going to do our slip knot. Hold on to that anchor bead. Wrap this behind your fingers. Pinch. Slide the fingers out. Bring it back behind. Pull it through. All right. Next, we're going to put on our charm. To put on your charm, you will need 2 jewelry pliers. Yes, not 1, 2. You will need 2 to properly do it. You can do it with 1, not recommended, but I recommend 2. We're gonna get our, you can put on 2 charms or 1. Get 1 jewelry plier. I like the kind that are curved. You should see you have the opening of your jump ring. Grab one side with 1 plier, grab the other side with the other plier, and you're going to twist in opposite directions. So 1 plier is going to move away from you, the other plier is going to move towards you. That's how we open the ring. You don't open the ring like this. That's not how you're going to open the ring. You want to do it with the twisting. Like that. Okay. Place your charm wherever you would like on your strand. And then you're going to do the opposite motion to close it. Okay. All right, let's tie this baby on. Okay, so again, unbutton these pants. Michael's just like, hold on, wait a second. I'm kidding. I'm only exposing my belly, nothing else, I promise. Tuck that up there. All right, so to tie this on, put it behind you and bring the ends in front of you, okay? This part is also on my website, by the way, for those who are interested. All right, so we're gonna bring the 2 ends together and I'm gonna pinch where I want the knot to be tied. I'm gonna pull the anchor beads. The excess beads are gonna slide down. I'm going to take the 2 ends and just like tying your shoe, I'm going to tie just like that, the first loop before the knot. One thing you want to do is make sure there are no gaps on your strand. So you're going to run your fingers along your strand to make sure there are no gaps. Tighten that up. okay? And then you're gonna tie a basic knot. It's just a basic knot, nothing fancy. Tie that knot, okay? Tie that knot. Next, really quickly, I'm going fast. I know I'm going fast because we're running slow. We're running on little time. I'm gonna cut the ends of the weight of the strand. I'm gonna slide off the extra beads. I'm gonna take these two, just two, tie a knot. We're gonna go to the other two, tie a knot, just like tying your shoe. We're gonna take one strand from the first pair and one strand from the second pair, tie a knot. We're gonna take the other two outsiders, tie a knot. Then we're gonna take two in one hand, two in the other hand, tie a knot. Okay. There is a better, slower, close-up video of this on my website on turquoiseandsalt.com. All right. Scissors. Careful where that knot is. Cut in front of it. There we go. That is your waist bead. I do not burn the thread, by the way. I'll put this on backwards, but it's okay. So that's how you tie on a waist bead. Cover myself back up. Never done that on national platform. So that's how you tie on a waist bead. Again, that was a fast blitz version. There is a better version on my website on turquoiseandsalt.com. I do not burn the thread because the thread, the material of the thread that I use and that are in these kits, it will melt if you apply any type of heat or flame to the knot. I also do not glue I do not glue the knots either. I know that some traditions with using some different materials like cotton, that may be a way of securing the knot. I cannot speak to that. I've never done that. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. Don't forget, follow me on Instagram at turquoiseandsalt.com. I'm sorry, at turquoiseandsalt for the handle. My website is turquoiseandsalt.com, where you can purchase your own waist beads made by hand. And don't forget to purchase your kit. We have 8 different design kits sold online and in Michael's stores. So don't forget to go on michaels.com and purchase your kits. There's 8 different designs available. And if you cannot find them in your local store, please, please, please give them a call. Let them know that you're looking for them before you go by. Also, you can purchase them online and have them shipped to you. We will be running a contest. If you buy the kit, or if you've already bought the kit, even if you have made it already, go on your Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, I recommend getting an Instagram, at least for the contest. Go on Instagram and post a picture in your story and on your page. So not just your 24-hour stories, but on your page and in your story, post a picture of either your receipt, a picture of you in a Michael's store buying a kit, a picture of the actual kit in your hand. If you've already made the waist bead and it's tied around you, post a picture, send me a picture or post a picture. Please do a hashtag, make it with Michaels, and please tag at Turquoise and Salt and tag at Michael's stores. So again, post the picture, tag Turquoise and Salt, tag Michael's, and do a hashtag, make it with Michael's, and you will be entered into winning one of these kits. Okay, So please, please, please go and post in your stories and post on your page. And I look forward to announcing the winners and sending out one of these kits to you. Alrighty. Take care. And thank you, Michaels. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Michaels, is there anything you'd like to say before we sign off?
Nope, that's it. I hope everyone have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.